When I first opened that grave, I was expecting a dead body, but what was inside was breathing. Its eyes were open, and it knew me. This was no ordinary person. Rather, it was dead. Olivia immediately decided that she would go there in the morning. She would make a video, and she would expose the truth. They lifted the lid of the coffin, and the whole world stopped. There was no body in the coffin. Instead, a living person lay there. His eyes were open. He was breathing, and he was looking Olivia straight in the eyes. "Olivia," he said with dry lips, "you finally came," like they said. A shiver ran down Olivia's spine. Before she could say anything, the man got up from the coffin and said, "This place is theirs. You shouldn't be here. You can't go now." Olivia's camera fell. The picture blurred. Just a muffled scream was heard, and then the cemetery fell silent. At 5:30 the next morning, Olivia arrived with her team at the cemetery, shrouded in fog. The camera was turned on. The microphone was on. As she approached grave number 39, she began to feel a strange chill. 5 years ago, Olivia and the Graveyard Echoes. Olivia Parker was a famous YouTuber who went to mysterious places and made videos. Died. October 13, 2019, Olivia began to remove dirt with her shovel. Her breathing was rapid and her hands were shaking, but she was trying to look calm for the camera. After about half an hour of digging, the coffin appeared. White, rotten, but closed. The coffin opens ready. Guys, this time, she took her camera and headed to Cedar Hills Graveyard, an old and infamous cemetery located in the state of Pennsylvania. Locals used to say that some graves there were shaking from the inside. Olivia used to laugh at such claims, but last night she received an anonymous email with just one line. Plot 39. He's not dead. Along with a picture of the grave, "This place is different," she whispered. The gravestone was old. The name had been erased, but the date was clear. Olivia looked at her team. He was alive, but not human. The atmosphere of Cedar Hills Graveyard was still heavy and mysterious. Olivia tried to scream, but the sound was buried in her throat. Elijah Kane was the name that had been erased on the coffin. Just then, the same mysterious person, Elijah, suddenly appeared behind Olivia. "You came to open my grave, Olivia, so now you are his too." He extended his hand, which had burning black veins on it. Olivia started to back away, but her feet seemed to be rooted to the ground. Elijah placed his fingers on her forehead, and Olivia suddenly saw every grave around her open. The graves came to life. 1, 2, 3, as if the entire cemetery began to breathe. Not bodies, but walking shadows began to emerge from each grave. The man who had risen from the coffin, whose eyes were unnaturally dark, was taking steps towards her. "I saw you in my dream, Olivia," he said. "You will come here and I will return." Olivia looked back and saw that her team, cameraman Ben and sound tech John, were not there. Just their bags, microphones, and a fallen camera were lying on the ground. Ben, John, "Guys, this isn't funny." But only the rustle of the wind came in response. And then the trees in the cemetery began to whisper, "Go back, they are watching you." Olivia ran to the entrance of the cemetery, but it was closed. She opened the door of her van to check for a phone or network, but the phone was dead. Only then did she remember Ben's bag, which contained an old Cedar Hills record. She quickly opened the bag, and inside was an old newspaper. Clip and found, 2019, a local pastor, Elijah Kane, was declared dead and buried. But after the exhumation, it was discovered the coffin was empty. The cemetery management covered up the incident. Some people say he has returned, not alive, but not completely dead either. Olivia's hands began to tremble. There were no eyes, but they could see. There were no tongues, but they were whispering. "Olivia, you're ours. It's over. You woke us up." Olivia could hear voices in her head. She screamed and closed her eyes, and when she opened them, she was inside an old, deserted church. But this church was located under the Cedar Hills Graveyard. The doors were closed. There was no light, and in front of it was another grave with her own name written on it. Olivia Parker died July 13th. The grave in front of Olivia was clearly written. Olivia Parker died July 13th of 2025. She forgot to breathe. How is this possible? I am alive. Her hands began to tremble. Strange writings began to appear on the walls of the church, as if someone had drawn with their nails. The door you opened was not just the outside. You let him in. In the corner of the church was a door of black, closed, and bound with iron chains. The appearance of the spirit, the door opened and a shadow emerged from inside. This shadow was in human form, but instead of eyes on its face, there were only empty black holes. Olivia tried to run, but now her feet were in the ground. The shadow spoke. Elijah was just the beginning thrill goal as you. There is a door in your soul through which we can all return. You are our host, Olivia Parker. Suddenly, Olivia began to have flashbacks. As a child, she used to have dreams in which the dead spoke to her. Her grandmother always said, "You must stay away from these men. You have a special connection to them. Olivia, you are alive, but not fully human." And today, that dream had come true. Olivia fell into the dirt of the church. The shadow entered her body. Her eyes turned black. The voice became deep and inhuman. "I am back. We are all back." The ground of the church began to crack. All the graves in Cedar Hills graveyard opened. Shadows started coming out of each grave, and they all started walking towards Olivia. The last footage of the video has a blurred image of Olivia standing in the cemetery with black smoke coming out of her eyes, and the final line appears on the screen. Olivia did not upload this video herself because she is no longer here. She is behind you. The screen is black, just a slight whisper. You also saw that Olivia's story is not over. She is now the spirit of a cemetery who comes to the dreams of every person who watches this video to the end. As soon as Olivia stepped closer to it, the chains opened automatically. A cold gust of wind began to echo in the church, and a voice came from behind the door. "Olivia, you have seen her. You are no longer the light, but the shadow. Go back to your grave."